Welcome to the Do Good Work podcast, where do good work is a way of living, where we highlight the hidden inner beauty behind the struggle to achieve a new level of excellence in all areas of your life. Every episode is designed to provide you with the ideas that you can apply and grow in excellence in all areas of life, soul, mind, body, relationships, and contribution. Today, we'll be having our Productive Profits segment, where I'll share with you every strategy, tactic, and framework from my own business growth playbook, Productive Profits, that has helped grow multiple multi-million-dollar companies online. Today, we'll be discussing how to grow a one-person business. And as a disclaimer, please note this is not business advice, since I'm right here and you're over there and I don't know anything about you, your business, and your goals. You'll have to take the information I'm going to share with you and customize it to fit your own business and personal goals. Now, if you're interested in learning more about how Productive Profits can help you reach your business and personal goals, please apply for a discovery call at dogoodwork.io/apply. Now let's head into the episode. So there seems to be a big fad around the one-person business or a company of one. Now, there is no judgment on my part since I've grown as a solopreneur, and I believe it can be a very beautiful way to contribute to society. However, we must distinguish the difference between a business, namely a business owner, and a freelancer. Most one-person businesses are disguised as freelancers. They run their own financial books, they do their own marketing, they take their own sales calls, and fulfill their own client obligations. And I know very successful and wealthy freelancers who run their business like this and enjoy the freedoms of time wealth, working with the clients they want to and working when they want to, and are happy. Now, there is a modern fallacy that entrepreneurs must do more and grow revenue for the sake of growth. Choosing not to grow for its own sake is a strategic and wise decision if it aligns with your life goals and your vision for the future. But for those who have discerned that they want to contribute more to society and are ready to endeavor to grow their profits and impact, this podcast is for you. Because in this podcast, I'd like to really dive into how to grow this type of one-person business without destroying your health, burnout, and neglecting family. Now, to start, we have to look at the Productive Profits breakdown of any business. There are three components to every business in the world, yes, even including yours. The first is operations. Here we have your strategy, your administrations, your people, HR, finance, and workflows. Second is your marketing, where you have your sales, and essentially this is where you get your clients. Third is product, and here you improve upon your existing product with your research and development, and you fulfill your client obligations. So we're going to look at these three components as we identify and look at how are we going to grow a one-person business if we truly want to not only just scale, but actually contribute more to society, serve more clients, and grow a fluid and functional business. So the typical business of one does all these functions like we mentioned earlier. They plan their own marketing, they take their own sales calls, they onboard their own clients, they do the client work, and they manage the relationship with the client. And on top of that, they do all the operations work, the strategy, finances, building automations, building workflows, and standard operating procedures. Growing from here is actually quite simple. And that might be contrary to what a lot of people think. Growing a company of one or a one-person business is quite simple. However, most entrepreneurs get stuck here, and trust me, I'm one of them. And I've spoken with other very successful ones who get stuck here. So I want to kind of dissect and move kind of, it seems going to look backwards really, because the best place to start, in my opinion, is not your marketing and sales. And this is from experience as well as where I would suggest if you're a company of one doing all this, I believe the best place to start is in your product and honing in on what you deliver. This is important to identify what is essential with your delivery. What can you and only you deliver to your clients? And what can you package together to add more value to your clients with less of you? So this is getting more strategic by nature, but it's important to start here. And we'll dive into a little bit more around this because we want to get to the essence of what is your product value matrix. Think about different options or levels of engagement that you can give your clients. And also looking at what can you automate, and yes, what can you hire for? Now, I know I said the H word here, especially if you're a one-person business, but that doesn't necessarily mean an employee. It can be a vendor or a contractor to support you. But going back, I believe the most important is your product matrix and discussing and identifying what levels of engagement a client can get from you. And what do you do that drives the most value? And do clients get a certain number of hours from you, a certain number of level of access, direct access, email access, asynchronous access, live call access? It's important to identify this. And on top of that, I'd also would like for you to identify how can you package your IP in a way that it can be delivered without you or with less of you? This doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do this and sell this only, but it is a good value driver and a value stack if you're looking at different levels of engagement with the client. So this may take some time to identify, but this will pay for itself because how you set up your value matrix for your product value matrix, it correlates with your pricing. And yes, it will allow you to price yourself higher in the market, but you can't just demand higher prices on a whim. You have to deliver higher value. So it's critical to understand your product matrix and identify where are you essential, where are you the most needed, and then decide if you can create workflows that deliver the same value without you or with someone else. And if you really want to grow your profits and impact, solving this critical fulfillment piece will allow you to be more aggressive with your sales and marketing. Now, I know the common objection that I get from telling entrepreneurs is Raul, no one can do what I can do at the level I can do it. That is true. That might be true. But here's the harsh truth. Your clients won't tell the difference if you do this right. In Productive Profits, I have a concept called the minimum level of acceptability. And I want to go through that concept here to kind of focus around why your clients can't tell the difference, why you shouldn't settle for less, and how to create a baseline and create a scale mechanism so that you can improve your product delivery and improve and grow not only in sales and profit, but also in impact. So, perhaps your service or your product delivery, when you deliver it yourself, when you do the work, you deliver at 100%. So we're looking at the minimum level of acceptability concept here. When you deliver, you're delivering at 100%. And the workflows and the people that you bring on or the automations that you add on may only deliver at an 85%. So you deliver at 100%, but perhaps if you're growing, your systems and workflows only deliver at 85%. Now, we're not going to settle for less. This is obviously 15% room for improvement. However, if you put yourself in the shoes of your client, what do they really want? They want results. They want a job done right with the right outcome. They want things to work. And to them, they may get all the value and outcomes they want with an output from you and your team at 75%. Now, let's look at this again. If your client can only tell the difference at 75% and they are happy at 75% and your team delivers at 85%, and if you were to do this work, you deliver at 100%, there is definitely not only room to grow, but there's also an opportunity where your clients just can't tell the difference. And this isn't because they aren't intelligent enough. It's because that's the veil behind an interaction between working with one another. Now, I'm not saying in any way to settle for less, scam clients, or deliver half-assed results. Never do that. Always aim to over-deliver. But the goal of this concept of the minimum level of acceptability is to allow you to create a baseline of what your clients actually need to receive in order to achieve their goal, and for you to put the workflows, people, or vendors in place to meet that baseline. And then once you do that, you're allowed to do multiple things at once, can grow multiple clients at the same time, allowing you to grow. But now it also allows you for an opportunity to hustle and get your delivery at a higher level of output. And if you do this over time, rinsing and repeating, you will get your team to deliver at the same level, if not better than you can deliver on your own. Especially, let's not say it at scale, because again, with service one-person businesses, sometimes it might not be at a tremendous scale. but it would be at a higher volume than if you were to do it all by yourself. So the next area to focus, so we just focus on product. Now, the next area that I would suggest for you to focus on is to buy back your time. You can do this fairly simply in your operations, because right now you may have a lot of your time being sucked away with legal, finances, admin tasks, all the things that you can either A, outsource, or B, automate. For example, your bookkeeping, scheduling, or recurring tasks. The key things, however, for you to keep in your operations is strategy, for you to focus on business strategy growth and financial forecasting. It's important for you to be on top of your numbers and your KPIs in all core areas of your business. And we can have a separate podcast just talking about that. A business owner or an entrepreneur that doesn't know their numbers is perpetually lost. And for the things that you can't automate, but the items that are not the highest value for you to work on in your operations department, I highly recommend for you to consider bringing on an operations manager. Now, again, if you don't want to hire an employee, or if you're looking to have a contractor or someone from overseas, you can find this person on Upwork from $10 to $45 an hour, and it is possible. Now, this is not a hard rule for growth, but I do suggest that you get yourself out of the weeds and focus more on the higher leverage activities where your actions are compounding. Because you, as the entrepreneur, as the one-person business, you are the only person that can either limit or unleash your growth. So now we've just gone through product, we've gone through operations. Now let's finally move onto what every online guru teaches, marketing and sales. And a lot of people start here, but really you have to get the baselines, the foundations done right before you can actually, put fuel on the fire for marketing and sales. Now, here's the thing about marketing and sales. There are so many ways to grow your business using multiple marketing tactics and channels. And I have on a blog version of this podcast, a list, I believe it's about, 14, I actually don't even know how many of these are. I can count them out for you. But essentially, the list to grow your marketing is kind of unending. There's ads, there's paid influencers, there's newsletters, there's press releases, SEO, PR, blogging, podcasting, webinars, lead generation, joint ventures, affiliate marketing, reward programs, cold emailing, cold messaging, cold outreach, etc. So when you heard this list and you actually read this list, it can get overwhelming. So what is the best for a one-person business? Well, clearly it's not all of them. And a lot of people tell you should focus on like all these different things, and really you should just focus on, in my opinion, 1 to 2, 3 max. Because in my experience, the best way to grow a one-person business is through your strategic alliances, by creating a network of referral partners. You can do this fairly well. Now, the goal here with a referral partner strategic alliance strategy is to build a real relationship with other business owners that serve your target market, but with an adjacent service that doesn't compete with you. And ideally, and this is like you'll win all the points if you do this right, ideally you partner with those whose service, business owners whose service is amplified by the work that you do, and vice versa. That means that if you support their clients win, but also it supports the other business owner. And if they win, their work supports the services that you're doing. It's creating a trifecta. So for example, let's give you a real life example. Let's say you provide PR services for authors. So your target market is an author and you provide PR services, but you do not provide social media management for your authors. Let's just put that as an example. It would make the most strategic sense for you to find someone who offers social media management for authors, but doesn't provide PR services. And the goal here is to aim for the triple win: a win for the client, a win for the strategic partner, and a win for you. And one thing to keep in mind though, as you continue to grow with sales and marketing, because sales and marketing really is the fuel to grow wherever you want to head towards, is where do you really want to take this? How far do you want to take this? When we began this podcast, we discussed how some entrepreneurs don't need to reach 7 or 8 figures and beyond. And it is wise to reassess before you begin where you want to go and why. It's always the first step in productive profits: clarity. Where are we called to go? Why are we called to go in this direction? And it's important for you to continue to reassess to ensure that you're heading in the right direction, because there is no wrong answer here. Just think of this when you're making this decision and when you're reviewing where you want to take your business, where you want to take your growth, that if the work that you do makes a substantial difference in the world. So I want you to think about this. If the work that you do makes a substantial difference in the world of your clients, and there are a lot of people who need you, dare to think big and go big. So I know in the beginning, we mentioned that some might be okay with staying where they're at, but if the work that you do actually makes a huge difference in contribution to the world, dare to think big and to go big. Thank you for being here with us today. It's an honor to be a small part of your journey. If you gained an insight on today's episode, please head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a comment with the insights you learned. While you're there, you can leave us up to a 5-star review. And if you have any topic suggestions or questions that you'd like us to go deeper on the podcast, just drop us a line at podcast@dogoodwork.io. That's podcast@dogoodwork.io. This is Raul Hernandez. Do good work.